The entry of LeBron James and his eldest son, Bronny James, into the NBA as the first active father-son duo in league history represents a multi-dimensional phenomenon that intersects with professional sports, corporate branding, and sociological debates regarding meritocracy and nepotism. The professional debut of Bronny James on October 22, 2024 for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Minnesota Timberwolves marked the formalization of a narrative that has been criticized by some and celebrated by others. While the sentimental value of this partnership is acknowledged by the organization and the players involved, LeBron James characterized it as his #1 accomplishment. The move has simultaneously sparked a global discourse on the ethics of NEPO-BABYs and the perceived erosion of the merit-based selection process in elite professional sports. The discourse surrounding Bronny James is uniquely polarized. On one hand, it emphasizes his resilience following a life-threatening cardiac arrest in July 2023, his defensive potential, and his commitment to developing his own identity despite the overbearing shadow of his father's legacy. On the other hand, I would point to his lackluster collegiate statistics at USC, his relatively low draft position, 55th overall, and a contract structure that is unusually favorable for a late second-round pick as evidence that his roster spot was secured via familial influence rather than on-court production. The emergence of the James duo marks a first in the NBA, an unprecedented era in NBA history. I explore their on-court performance, economic significance, psychological pressures, and historical context to provide a thorough understanding of this landmark chapter in basketball history. To evaluate the validity of the NEPO-BABY allegations, a thorough review of the statistical performance of Bronny James across multiple levels of competition is required. The primary criticism stems from the disparity between his output and the output typically expected from an NBA caliber prospect. At USC, James's freshman season was interrupted by a cardiac arrest during a practice session, a factor that many scouts argue must be considered when evaluating his statistical baseline. During his single season at the University of Southern California, James's production was categorized by many scouts as mediocre. In 25 games, he averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. These figures were significantly lower than other guards in the 2024 draft class, such as Jared McCain, who averaged 14.3 points and 5 rebounds while shooting over 41% from the three-point line. His 2024-25 G League campaign with the South Bay Lakers demonstrated a capacity for high scoring, 21.9 points per game, and respectable efficiency from the three-point range, 38.0%, which bolstered the argument for his long-term developmental ceiling. However, the 2025-26 G League figures show a regression in shooting efficiency, specifically a drop in three-point percentage to 21.2%, which reignited concerns about his consistency as an offensive threat at the professional level. Scouting reports from the 2024 pre-draft process and subsequent performance reviews characterize Bronny James as an athletic but undersized combo guard. His primary value proposition lies in his defensive motor and high basketball IQ, which scouts suggest could allow him to develop into a 3-and-D specialist. My video on why Bronny James can't and won't succeed breaks down his shortcomings literally. In his first 2 NBA seasons, his effective field goal percentage remained below 39%, reflecting a struggle to score efficiently against NBA caliber defenses. He often plays timidly, hesitating to take open shots, a behavior that led to a viral incident where head coach J.J. Redick vocally demanded that James shoot the fucking ball during a game against the Bucks. The term NEPO-BABY refers to individuals who have attained success or positions of power primarily through familial connections and the wealth or influence of their parents. In the case of Bronny James, the critique centers on the perception that the Los Angeles Lakers organization utilized the 55th pick not to acquire the best available talent, but to satisfy the public desire and potential contractual demands of LeBron. While the James family has become the focal point of the current debate, research suggests that nepotism is an entrenched element of the NBA's operational structure. Adrian Wojnarowski and other insiders have noted that familial connections are prevalent across ownership levels, front front offices, and coaching staffs. The league has historically accommodated the children and relatives of stars and executives. The comparison to Austin Rivers is particularly salient. Rivers was initially labeled a product of nepotism when his father, then the coach and executive for the Los Angeles Clippers, traded for him and signed him to a significant contract. At the time, argued that Rivers was considered straight trash and was on his way out of the league before his father saved his career. However, Rivers eventually transitioned from a high-volume, inefficient prospect to a respected defensive role player, proving that while nepotism may open the door, it does not guarantee longevity without individual adaptation. I've watched a few of Austin Rivers' pickup games, and his skill level is undeniable. One of his moves, a hard between-the-legs bounce into a step-back three, is something I use all the time and even showed in one of my videos. Without question, Austin Rivers is far better than Bronny James. A significant driver of the NEPO-BABY discourse is the unprecedented financial success of Bronny James before he ever recorded a professional statistic. Through the name, image, and likeness NIL era in college sports, James built a valuation that far exceeded his on-court production. This brand power served as a strategic asset for the Lakers and the NBA as a whole. The budding brand of Bronny James yielded an estimated NIL worth of $5.9 million by May 2024. His sponsorship portfolio included Nike, a partnership following his father's lifetime deal, Beats by Dre. He was the first high school athlete signed to the brand 14 years after his father became its inaugural ambassador. Google promoted the Circle to Search function in 2023. Fanatics Collectibles collaborated on unique trading cards featuring both himself and his father. PSD Underwear, a deal focused on authentic product use. From a corporate perspective, the Lakers' decision to draft Bronny was a strategic masterstroke for the franchise brand. The move virtually guaranteed LeBron's presence in Los Angeles for several years, which boosted ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and national media coverage. His number 9 jersey became the top-selling rookie jersey of the season, and ticket prices for G League games featuring the South Bay Lakers skyrocketed, with secondary market listings reaching nearly $1,000 for Summer League debuts. The pressure of being the son of one of the greatest athletes of all time creates a unique set of psychological stressors. Bronny James has publicly acknowledged these challenges, noting that he has struggled with the intense scrutiny and the imposter syndrome that can arise when a player's achievements are dismissed as products of privilege. The introduction of a high-profile NEPO-BABY into a professional locker room can be a source of friction. Anonymous reports from the 2024 Summer League indicated a lack of unity among the Lakers' young core, as some players resented the star treatment afforded to Bronny. These players reportedly felt that the game plans were overly focused on Bronny, preventing other prospects from showcasing their skills for a roster spot. The primary advantage for a legacy athlete is the immediate access to elite-level infrastructure and mentorship. Bronny grew up with a father who provided unique insights into the blueprint of a professional career, instilling values of hard work and discipline from an early age. Early exposure to professional-grade training facilities, top-tier coaching, and high-level AAU competition allowed James to compete against the best prospects in the nation throughout his youth. Because he does not need the money, James is free to focus on his own goals and aspirations, choosing to play basketball because of a genuine love for the sport rather than financial necessity. Growing up in the public eye prepared him to handle the intense media scrutiny of the NBA, a skill that many other rookies take years to develop. The disadvantages center on the loss of a fair evaluation and the crushing weight of comparison to a legend. Every mistake James makes is amplified by social media and traditional media outlets, leading to criticism that flies in one ear and out the other, but nevertheless impacts his public perception. The LeBron situation proves that politics is in everything, leading to the perception that Bronny is taking a spot from a more deserving player who lacks the proper last name. Some analysts, including Stephen A. Smith, argue that by bypassing the standard multi-year collegiate development, James may have hindered his own growth, entering a league he was not close close to ready for. The integration of Bronny James into the Los Angeles Lakers is a move that defies standard basketball logic, but adheres perfectly to the logic of modern celebrity-driven professional sports. From a purely statistical standpoint, the skepticism regarding his NBA readiness is objectively supported. His collegiate and early NBA efficiency ratings are significantly lower than those of his peers drafted in similar or later positions. However, the merit of Bronny James in the eyes of the Lakers front office is not solely determined by points per game. His value is a composite of defensive potential, brand synergy, and organizational stability. By drafting Bronny, the Lakers secured the continued commitment of LeBron James, one of the most profitable assets in sports history. The Bronny James era is an unprecedented experiment in the blending of familial legacy and professional athletics. While the advantages of his birthright provided him with an entry point that most athletes will never see, the ultimate success of his career will be judged by the same harsh standards of efficiency and production that apply to every other player in the National Basketball Association. The NEPO-BABY discourse provides a necessary critique of institutional fairness, but it does not account for the individual resilience and work ethic required to survive in the league after the initial doors have been opened. The James duo has successfully rewritten the rules of the NBA's marketing playbook. Whether they can rewrite the rules of on-court success together remains a narrative in progress. Like, subscribe, share, and maybe even hype the video. Let me know if you agree with my critique of Bronny James as a quote-unquote Nepo baby. Thanks for watching.